6'2", 170-pound cornerback. He's a guy in which that, again, he's got a lot of good versatility. He's got really good ball skills. For his size, he has an incredible amount of twitch and have great change of direction. So as you watch him throughout the season, he played with a lot of physicality. More and more the season went on. I think that his mother kind of called me one day, said, "Coach, he got to make a lot more physical plays. You know what I mean? Nothing's coming to him. They're not throwing at his side." And, you know, he had a good talk with him together and then told him to get his butt to the ball. And as you watch his season progress, you were able to see that physicality that he brought to the table. So I credit his mother to that as well, because she's on him. She's a football mom, taking him around his whole entire life, you know, just making sure he stays involved, you know, staying around the right people, and becoming the person that he is. With that being said, that's who he is, and you know, I think he had around 5 interceptions as well this year. You know, 1 in each of the last 3 games, which again, he gets better and better as time goes on, and those are some of the things in which that you know from him, and you like those characteristics that he shows.
What's the mentality you need from a corner, from a recruiting corner like here?
Well, you got to have confidence, all right? I mean, that's first and foremost. You know, you're on an island. So with that being said, you know, you got to be a person which that does not have a long-term mentality. You got to be able to drop things, go to the next play mentality. You got to be able to understand that you're going to be lining up with someone right across from you each and every play. He's not going to go anywhere, and you better not go anywhere. When things do happen, you want to be able to get back up and understand that you're going against that guy one more time. And, you know, so you got to, without anything else, you got to have doggone confidence.
Is that one of the selling points for a corner in this defense, that you can almost say to guys like, look, this isn't for everybody?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because you got to be a dog, you know, to be able to play on that island. And then, like I said, Coach Narduzzi's system has, you know, been proven a number of great corners on the outside, you know, have come through this system. You know, and one thing about it, you know, the people at the next level understand that they've been battle tested. There's nobody that's going to come out of these, you know, out of these 4 walls in which that has not been battle tested, and they do know how to respond and with anything that usually happens with them. You know, and it's a complex system within press quarters. You know, I mean, they're able to respond very, very quickly to checks, you know, within a second. So that's why they translate well at the next level as well.
Corey said you've been calling Tony since he was really young. I mean, what stood out from him even when he was an 8th grader in middle school?
That he loves football, and he's a worker. He's a worker. You know, I obviously watched him practice. You know, I watched him came into his school over when he started off at Creekside, and just watching him out there practicing. You know, I kept asking who that guy was, and at that time, I think he was an 8th grader, if I'm not mistaken. With that being said, he loves the game of football. So those are things that stood out to me back when he was a youngin', you know, and then he was able to get on over to Cale High School, and he's the same person. You know, when you talk to those coaches there, they say the same exact thing that his coach prior to over at, Cedar Grove. I said Creekside, I said Cedar Grove. You know, it was, you know, it was the same attributes that they talked about him with having, which is being a worker, a guy in which that puts his head down, and just loves the game of football. He's always there early, stays later, and always working on his craft.
Stats in high school aren't always, you know, they don't always translate. When a guy has 5 interceptions, you know, is that one that jumps out to you?
Well, it's always amazing as you look at their high school film throughout time. Certain people have some sort of bad habits. Some people have what I call that it factor. And a lot of times when you see guys in which they go up and make plays, it translates over to college. You know, it's always very remarkable when you have that it factor that you see it on the next level too. You know, and some people can work and keep working and keep working, and then they'll develop more of those skills. But when you got that it factor and it shows up early in your life, sometimes even down to Little League, and it translates over to high school. And when that stuff happens over and over again, you really see it translate every single level that you go to.